Hey, and welcome to map 16 of the Plutonia experiment. This is the Omen. So as you can see at the start of this level, we have a pain floor here that is not a pain floor, so, good start there. But I do actually love the look of this level. This opening part here has a really nice look to it. It's all sort of bathed in shadow and there's a nice silhouette against the sky. You also got these enemies targeting you from the start, so you're in for a rough time, except for the fact that you get all of these weapons to play with, including a BFG, which is very unusual for Plutonia. So that should probably tell you where things are going to go. So the main thing I'm trying to do at the start here, I do not want enemies to be dying in this area, on this side of the raising platform there. And the reason for that is because later on, that's going to become a problem for me, and you'll see what I mean as we play through the level. But so the objective with this part here is to try and get the enemies that I know are going to spawn into this area to not die in this area. We need a yellow key to get into that room there, but we obviously don't have that right now. Instead, we're going to go for the blue key here, and as you can see, as soon as we grab it, a bunch of enemies start teleporting in. So I'm going to use the gate here that's going up and down. We're going to use that to sort of filter enemies through to this side of the level. And the reason for that is because later on there's going to be an archvile that spawns in there, and if we let them all sort of die where they spawned in, we're going to have to deal with all these enemies again and again and again. Whereas if we take all of the dead bodies out of the archvile's way, it won't be able to, use them against us. It also means that we're making creative use of this raising platform here, which, I'm not too angry about. I do not like slow platforms in Doom, so seeing one here is not appreciated. There is a supercharge there, which I am definitely going to grab. So we've just got to be a bit careful here. There's still quite a few enemies in here, and the reason for that is because a lot of them, when they spawned in, ran down the side rather than coming down the middle, so you have to kind of guide them all out. This is quite time consuming, but trust me, it will make a massive difference later on in the level. Okay, so I just missed that, so we're just going to wait for this to come back down here. I don't think... So we've got the chain gunner here that's killing me. Let's take him out. So you can see there's still a few in here that have died, but at the end of the day, it's a lot better than all of those enemies being here for the archvile. So we've taken care of this part. The fun fact is that you can actually do the opening part in whichever order you want. There is a red key of where that chain gunner was, and you can head over there and do that first if you really want to. Personally, I prefer to grab the blue key early in the level. You can see that there's another chain gunner there. There's also some cacodemons on either side. There's also some arachnotrons on platforms that we need to deal with. We're just going to take care of these because obviously we don't want to take unnecessary damage here. There's also two cacodemons way off at the back. We don't want to get too close to that red skull key until we're ready, because if you do it too early, you will get swamped by all those enemies. So you can see a bunch of enemies have just spawned in. So it's important that I control the flow of these enemies. I don't get trapped in that area, and I don't make the mistake of letting these enemies overrun me, because if they overrun me, I don't have any armor. It's not going to be long before I'm back at the start of the level. So you can see two more arachnotrons have spawned in, so we just want to get rid of those. Excellent. So the blue door is over here. Again, luring the enemies out here because I know there's going to be an archvile in here. And if I don't, the archvile's just going to wake them up and I'm going to waste so much ammo. And as you'll see at the end of the level, we're going to need the ammo. Trust me. Take care of the Spectre there. So this is a very nice looking room, I have to say. I do like the toxic pool here. As soon as we grab the yellow key card, however, we are going to be attacked by an archvile. And as you can probably imagine, if it's given the chance, it's going to wake all those enemies up. So that's why we wanted to lure them all out. But you will also have heard that revenants being woken up over here. And the reason for that is because, yes, an archvile has appeared. Luckily, because of the work we did earlier in the level, we were able to minimize its damage, but if you're not careful, it will do a lot of trouble there for you, so you've got to be really careful. Just making sure I can grab all this health. I did leave health packs all over the place in this level, so we will have quite a bit of health going into the final room. The final room is hit scan heaven, and I don't say that lightly. I thought there was a secret there, but maybe I'm misremembering. So you can see here, this is an absolute nightmare if you hit scanners. There's chain gunners in here, and there's shotgunners on all levels, up and down. The best advice I can give for this room is just peek your head around the corner, take your time, don't be drawn into actually run in there because there's so many enemies, you will just be turned into Swiss cheese. So what I'm trying to do here, I'm trying to position myself so that I can hit these enemies one at a time, rather than sort of taking them on multiple at a time. I'm using the levels geometry to my advantage here, and there's no time limit in this level, so why would we rush? Why on earth would we rush? I'm just showing you there as well. There's no point in rushing in and sort of trying to go all guns blazing because it's just not going to end well for you. It's a very slow, meticulous room, this one. You can also run into the line dev there and let all these things come down, but to be honest, I didn't really fancy that because I feel like that would have just sort of drawn them all to the door where I probably would have got shot more. I was quite happy to just shoot them like it's a shooting gallery in here. So I can still hear an enemy somewhere. Oh, there you are. I think there's one more somewhere in here. Just checking there's nothing interesting there. So the red door is actually up here. I see, there it is. I could hear a chain gunner walking around in the level somewhere. But you can see, you just have to wait, you know, take your time, and you eventually have to run into the teleporter here. Once you've run into the teleporter here, it takes you to the level's end, and that's pretty much the end. I do actually like this end room. It's pretty aesthetically pleasing for a Doom map. So the Omen for me is not a bad level at all. I actually think that when you consider the parts involved and the rooms and the little challenges that it throws at you, I think that as long as you're okay with monster closets, I think that it's a perfectly serviceable level. I think that there are some cheap moments, but at this point in Plutonia, we can't really be criticizing that. One thing I didn't show in the video, but I will point out, is that when you fall down near where the arachnotrons were, you actually get hurt by the floor there, even though it's the same texture as the green toxic used throughout the rest of the level where you're not hurt. Again, that inconsistency is very frustrating with Plutonia, and I know it's well documented, but it's worth pointing out because it is just something that bugs me about Plutonia. continuously. But overall, I do like the look of this level. I think it doesn't outstay its welcome, and I think it provides a nice enough challenge that most people who play it will not feel too overwhelmed after a few attempts at it. So in my eyes, it's actually a pretty solid Plutonia level, at least compared to some of the ones we've seen and some of the ones we're going to see. Let me know what you think of the Omen. Do you like it? Do you hate it? Do you think this is a good Plutonia map? And let me know in the comments what your thoughts are on it. Thank you so much for watching.